Now, are you in a state of growth or decline? It's an interesting question, isn't it? You see, all living things, whether it's a plant, an animal, a human being, we're constantly in this fine balance of either growth or decline. Now, in order for us to experience robust health and well-being, it would make sense that we're more in a state of growth than we're in a state of decline. Naturally, as one ages, there is a natural decline in how the body turns over, in the strength of our muscles changes, the density of the bone changes, we start to notice signs of aging, our hair color changes, our skin changes. But what I'm talking about here is how do we maximize our body's ability to be more robust so that we can just get out and do the things that we love in life. We understand, particularly in chiropractic, it's kind of really simple. And what we're trying to do is we're trying to enhance the body's ability to thrive and to live an optimal life. And we're trying to allow the body and therefore the nervous system to be as adaptable and as resilient as possible so it can withstand any stresses on the body. Now, stressors are always around us. They could be grouped into three different areas. One could be physical stresses, which could consist of things like the fact that we live in a gravity-based world. That's a physical stress on the body. The fact that we walk on 2 feet rather than on all fours, that's another stress on the system. When we fall, when we injure ourselves playing sports, when we're in accidents, a new mother, as she's holding her baby for hours upon hours a day, as she's feeding her baby for hours upon hours, or that baby's on her, that can be a physical stress on the body. When we look at our teenagers and their use of device, in fact, all of us with our device use, and we're constantly in this forward head position, that's a physical stressor on the body. Then there are chemical types of stresses. So a nice way of thinking about this is anything that we are surrounded by, smells, aromas, pollution, anything we're putting onto our body, lotions, potions, soaps, detergents, and also anything we're ingesting. So the food we eat, supplements we take, medications we might take, all of these are chemical types of stressors, and they're designed for the body has to adapt to those stress and take it on board and then create a response. And then there's emotional stress. Well, we do live in a very busy world, don't we? With lots of different worries and demands on us. And that can also act as a stress on our system. Now, the beautiful thing is our bodies are designed to handle stress. They're designed to be able to adapt and move on and thrive. Now, the simple equation is like this, is if our body has a natural inborn resilience to stressors, as long as the stressors that we experience are lower than the body's ability to adapt, we're thriving and therefore we're growing. However, if it's the other way around, which it can be sometimes, can't it? We can have more stress in the system or on the system than our body's ability to adapt to the stress. We're on a state of decline or death, if you like. So it makes sense that in order for us to thrive, we want to have a good, strong resilience and base, and we want to be able to thrive and get on and do all the things that we love in life, rather than this other situation. So what can we do to maximize that? In chiropractic, we understand that having your nerve system, which is your brain and your spinal cord, functioning at its absolute best, unimpeded, with no interference, all your bodily systems will be able to adapt more readily to those stressors that we might be experiencing. So making sure our spine is mobile and functional will help support that nervous system, because it happens to reside in our head and then in our spinal cord. So keeping that spine working well with your regular adjustments just helps us thrive on a much, much higher level. So therefore, as our cells turn over, they are turning over at a rate which is working towards growth and strength and robust and health, rather than breaking down in this direction. And this could be considered sort of, pain or dis-ease or different health challenges in this regard, or lowered energy, lowered mood, etc., etc. So we're really trying to help your body facilitate growth rather than decline. And there are lots of different things that we can do to help promote growth, and there are lots of different things that we can do to try and avoid decline. Chiropractic care and keeping that nervous system catered for is a really big component of that. Now, it's really interesting. As we age, just as an example, and this is a natural process that goes on within the body, our bones are constantly turning over. They're living tissue, okay? That might surprise you. They look pretty dead to most of us, don't they? But they're actually living tissue when they're within us. The more muscle mass we have, the stronger our bones. So we know that, don't we? We know that actually to negate the impacts of decreased bone density, we want to keep strength development up. And we understand this particularly with women. We want that strength development to really kick in and keep going throughout life. It's a really important component. Now, as we age, what will naturally happen is the cells that produce strong bone, the osteoclasts that build bone, start to decline in numbers, and the cells that actually eat up the dead bone and discard it, the osteoblasts, I've got that rather wrong way. The osteoblasts build the bone and the osteoclasts eat up the bone and discard it. But essentially what happens is when we're younger, the osteoblastic activity is higher, the osteoclastic activity is lower, and we have strong bones. And then as we age, it changes. But there are ways in which we can help keep that balance going throughout life. And that is to keep moving the body, to keep the body strong, to keep the body resilient and robust. So that's just a living example of what happens naturally within the body. But what we want to do is try and maximize what the body is already naturally doing and make sure that we're always aiming towards health and doing that in a way that is creating growth within the system rather than decline. Anyway, I've enjoyed talking about this. I hope you've got something out of it. We'll talk to you next time.